guys are watching Ryan's Mobile One. Ryan's Mobile One.
I'm a Ford, close the door. I'm a Ford, close the door. I have a love-hate relationship with comebacks. So that 2010 Ford Escape that I just did a video on the evap stuff, we found a problem. It had 3 codes, everything added up. The drivability concern was a power loss, and you can see a massive vacuum leak causing a problem or a stumble at startup, but I wasn't quite sure what the deal is. It still did it. It came back, went to read the codes, and the battery died. It's weird. Yeah, battery's dead. Before the battery died, I was able to pull up all of these different faults in all these different systems, and usually what that means is the battery has died, become disconnected, and you get just a whole swamp full of codes. Yeah, but I wasn't able to see what they were because it lost memory when the battery died. There's no codes to read, totally dead battery. Put a new battery in it. We went ahead and put the tester on it, googly eyes and all, and went through all the menu, 12 volt and all that. And the cool thing is it went through and told us that it's not charged enough. I'm not going to say it's bad because it could just be it needs to be charged. But given it had all these other symptoms and problems and the age of it, it was 9 years old. Batteries usually last, best case scenario, the warranties go to 5 or 6 years or 7 years, and it was past all that. Anyway, we got a good battery. We're going to see what this looks like. It's great.
Oh, yeah.
There's not a lot of interpretation left to great. Great's one of those words that...
That's great.
It's great. That's what we want to see. Drove it, still had drivability concerns. Here's what we found. So we read the trouble codes and the symptoms, and what we have is a P2111, which means that their throttle actuator stuck open. This is your fly-by-wire system. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to unwire it. It's got a little safety tab. You just pull it back about that far, and then it's got a pinch and then wiggle to get that out. So we'll tuck that around where it's raising its hand saying, "Don't forget me." And we're going to do the same thing here. This is the mass airflow sensor. And then we've got a little tab right here. It's just a little rubber pull. Again, you want to put these in such a way that you can't forget to plug them in. Otherwise, you got to get in and do codes over again. This may have a tube at the bottom. It does. So we're going to want to undo that too. Push disconnect on this one. We're going to take full advantage of that. These are a little tricky, trying to figure out which way they want you to push it, but in fact we're going to try to leave that alone if we can. See, it's got a little connector thing here, so you got to push in and then up. That's the correct way to do it. All right, so from here we've got 4 of these bolts. We're just going to zip them out. If you do the first ones, or do the bottom ones first, that'll save you a little bit of headache, because that way you can see good to do these when it comes loose. And that's it. So the first thing people do with these, on most cars, you see all the carbon buildup. When it's unplugged, you can actually move it this way and listen to the noise it makes. You can hear the gears turning. There's a bunch of plastic gears inside of here that are driven by a servo. If it's not closing all the way or doing something weird, that can be your problem. So what you'll do is you see how it's clean here and then dirty here. You can clean it. You get a rag. It's kind of like a tar consistency, but you get that cleared out, and sometimes that'll buy you some time, and you'll get better response out of it. Say you're out of town, you're away from a parts store, and you can't get a Mofoco new part. Oh wait, it's not Mofoco, it's Fomoco. I don't see how they didn't see that coming. But here's the old one. Sometimes you'll have a core deposit on them, sometimes you won't. Be sure to check your gasket, make sure that you don't have a bunch of dirt getting into here. It's a good idea to clean this while you're in there. And then you want to install this one first, this one second, so it's nice and even on your gasket. Get a good squish on it, nice and even, and then do the bottom and then the top, and then just snug them by hand. We'll show you that here in a sec. So we're going to use a little bit of cleaner. You can use mass airflow sensor cleaner or whatever your choice is. You just want to wipe out the inside, and you'll find that it's about as dirty as what we found on the back side of there, given that that's where it lives. This is what it looks like cleaning one if you wanted to. You want to be gentle with these if you're planning on reusing it. You don't want to force the gears too hard, so apply gentle pressure, don't jam into them. Because the gears are plastic, it's kind of a mechanical fuse that they use on them. So just do that until you're content that it's clean enough, and then install it. Got a little bit of dust on here, so we're going to wipe that away. Start at the top, work out to the side, and then if you have any little straggler stars in the black tube, just wipe them out as well. Normally, and you've heard me say this before in the channel, I use Mofoco as often as I can, so that it's the new updated part that works good. What we found by reading some of the reviews on things that have happened with the throttle bodies on these, this one, if we hold them side by side, this one's an aftermarket, it's got a lifetime warranty, and it does not say Fomoco. And in this case, it's good because the warranty is way better. This should be covered under warranty. It's only $50,000, but they cut you off at 10 years or $150,000. So anyway, we live in Bidenomics, and it is what it is. So we're happy to use one that isn't Mofoco. It seems like I'm saying that wrong. Am I saying that wrong, or is that right? In this case, I think it's right. Yeah. I think that's how you do it. So we're going to put this in here. We're going to drop that one. I'm going to put a link in the description. Camera guy, he's thinking, man, aren't we going to use a new gasket? I got a new gasket with it. Let's do that. And I'm thinking, you know what? Your telepathy is strong. Got a good telepathy game. I'm going to listen to you, and we're going to do that. So there's an index part on it right here, and there's not on this other side. Usually there is. I'm tempted to just leave this one in there. See the index? No index. So if there's no index, grab your keychain, pocket knife, and just nip it off. Get you a good, nice, clean cut. Plus it's outside of the airflow stream, so hey, look, they match. It's perfect. Problem solved. I'm not going to worry about that or lose any sleep at all. So I like to do this one first. And I'm not going to send it all the way home. You can see there's a little bit of an air gap there. Just going to leave a little air gap, and then we're going to snug them down after we've got all the bolts in, and that just ensures that we don't cross thread those brass nuts. You hear the balls of brass. Well, we got brass nuts. We don't want to strip them out of the plastic, so we're just going to go somewhat tight, but not all the way. Till they're all in. See me sneak my finger in there, just kind of give it a little check, see? You're not going to figure out that kind of move on your honeymoon night, but eventually you'll get it. Same goes for lube. Let's see, we don't need any silicone on this because silicone does great for getting the tubes on, but it does not do great in your oxygen sensors downstream. By the time it gets to the exhaust, you'll wish it didn't, because it'll blind your oxygen sensor. So we're going to either use glass cleaner or none at all, and the B option's what we're going to be doing here. I got this little clip in the locked position. You can hear it click. We're good on that. We're going to tighten up our tubes. You can see a witness mark if you come around to the front side where it used to be. So we're going to be watching that witness mark in the dust for where that likes to be. If it's old and dried up, we'll go a little past, but otherwise we're going to stop there so that we don't break anything. Looking good, feeling good. Wow, that was fun. There's not supposed to be a red tube flying across the screen at this portion of the program. Take care of that. Squirrel! Get this clicked in. The dog heard that. He's like, where's the squirrel? Aren't you busy sniffing that airplane for kangaroo rats? Loves kangaroo rats. I don't know if it's the movement or the beady little eyes, but he's into it. That's how you install it. Some of these are pre-programmed and they're close enough, good enough. I don't know if anybody caught it. We'll show you the footage. But when you look inside, when I was looking at side by side, this one was open more for idle, more idle. Basically, this is your idle air control valve, your throttle position sensor, and your throttle butterfly all in one piece, and your cruise control for a lot of everything. So sometimes they're pre-programmed. Other times you have to hook it up to a bi-directional scan tool and put it in learn mode. So we're going to find out and we're going to tell you all about it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What's it going to do? When I turn this key right here and it starts up, if we have to calibrate it with this computer, we'll know because it'll shoot to 1200 RPM. Cross your fingers. It won't start because I have it in reverse. Oh no! Oh yeah! If it's about between 600 and 800, chances are good you won't have to reprogram it. We're going to give her the old test drive and see what it does. It's great. Don't have to do anything, which is good news. If you buy something aftermarket, this one came from O'Reilly, we haven't had to program it. It looked like it was open too big, like it was going to idle high, and it got in there, and we haven't had to do a thing. Idle's good, throttle response is good, no lights on, no problems. You know your friend that drives one of these and doesn't want to have it die in traffic and basically not work until you turn it off and start it again? It's scary. Share this video with them. Let them know ahead of time.